has ensured that England have been dismissed. They are 253 all out with 55.5 overs played. They couldn't even play out a full 60 overs, and suddenly India have the initiative. And how? Because the lead that they have now is a 143 run lead. Now, 143 runs at a time when the pitch is still playing pretty well. You wouldn't say that the pitch had any demons on it, or that whatever wickets were taken in this particular innings were down to, let's say, a poor pitch. It was down to skill, and the skill of one man only, Jasprit Bumrah.
Definitely, it was there was no help for the spinners that we have been recently seeing in a lot of years now that the spinners come and play and take most of the wickets. But today Bumrah showed on a flat track where there is not much. It's the experience and the skill that Bumrah gets. Why we miss Bumrah when he's not around? This is the exact reason.
I mean, come on. This man has not been playing Test cricket for as long as I can remember now. This is the first proper full time series at home that he's playing really. Because again, prior to this, he was someone who would mostly be playing in the Sena nations. This time around, being trusted to play at home, of course, the fact that you're up against an opposition like England, definitely part of that. And many people would be saying, look, keep Bumrah fit, and this series you're potentially in with, let's say, a chance, or more than a chance, I'd say you'd have a fighting chance of potentially winning the series. Because again, as we've constantly mentioned, this pitch hasn't really offered assistance in that regard.
To the
It's
spinners,
not.
definitely.
And I don't think it's offered much even to
Yeah,
the
and
seamers.
that's where I think the skill that we talk about
Yeah.
Jasprit Bumrah, why we talk about him, that he's one of the greatest fast bowlers India has at this point in time, and also in general, also is this reason that when there is no help, this is where someone like a Bumrah helps. And if we are going to get this sort of wickets
Yeah.
going ahead in the series, then I may tell you that Bumrah should be ready for bowling quite a few overs.
Yeah, because I mean, India may potentially go with, I don't know, there may be some cases where they're tempted to go with four spinners. And even if they're not, I mean, today, how much did you see Mukesh bowl? Barely.
7 overs.
6, 7 overs, and most of them were pretty expensive. He was being one of those bowlers that was absolutely targeted by the English batters. And so he didn't really bowl as much. Bumrah had to bowl extended spells because, again, and I'll give you a bit of some numbers here. After Rehan Ahmed got out, the 1 over after that, they took 3 runs, but after that, Stokes went into counter-attacking mode because they took about 44 runs of the next 5, 6 overs, and they were consistently scoring very high, 11 runs, 9 runs, 8 runs. It reached a point where Rohit Sharma had no choice, because I think at that point he was trying to give Bumrah some rest, some absolute rest to, let's say, maybe get him going for another spell later on. But I think the counter-attack that, let's say, England were putting on necessitated bringing him back, and he repaid that decision in absolute spades.
And as far as the predictions are concerned, we were talking about this at tea time also, that no, there aren't many chances that we would see India batting again today. But we did mention the fact that if Bumrah comes and takes the pair that was batting at that point, that was Bairstow and Ben Stokes, if he comes in and takes their wickets, then we would definitely see the rest of the English side getting out cheaply. And that is exactly what happened. Bumrah came in, took that wicket of Bairstow, and after that the English side just could not face someone like a Jasprit Bumrah.
Yeah, I think, and Bumrah was absolutely unplayable today. I think you need to be keeping him fit and firing for as long as you possibly can in Test cricket, because again, you do not. Your pace bowling reserves right now are very low. In fact, I dare say right now, with no Shami there, Bumrah is an absolute must, because again, I'll put it this way: if it's a Bumrah and Shami bowling in tandem to this England side, then I don't think you're even looking at a competitive series, because again, that is absolutely, let's say, your best bowling pair that you have. But without a Shami there, you've realized just how, I dare say, a little bit hollow your bowling reserves are, because again, Siraj was released from this particular test match because they wanted to manage his workload, but he wasn't very effective in the first test either.
And even Mukesh Kumar wasn't, I think he did not live up to the expectations what the team management had got him to. Again, just the first innings, a really small sample size. We'll still get to see a little bit more of him going into the second innings also. But in India, where we have been talking about spinners, how big a role spinners would play, the English side is playing 3 full-time spinners. Here today in this test match, we have seen 2 quality fast bowlers actually showing that why the skill and experience is so important.
Yeah, but I think, by the way, we're talking a lot about Bumrah, and understandably so. But another person who I think deserves an absolute salute, Kuldeep Yadav.
Yeah.
Another one of those bowlers India has who inexplicably, and I mentioned this on a post on X, is yet to reach double figures in terms of appearances in tests.
Yeah.
How it is that this man has not played even 10 test matches in his career till date, absolutely beyond me. Because again, he's not a condition-specific bowler.
Yeah. Yeah.
he will flourish, whether it be a rank turner, whether it be a sporting track, whether it be a batting friendly wicket. Because again, this pitch so far hasn't shown me anything as far as demons are concerned.
Yeah.
Nothing whatsoever. But he was getting that ball to talk. He was getting plenty of revs. He was getting good bounce. His variations were there, and he was also troubling the English batters for the longest time.
And I feel why was the English batter successful the last time around? A very big reason for that was the sweep and reverse sweep they were applying the last time. Here, as soon as someone like a Kuldeep Yadav came, because of the wrist spinning option, he gives that extra bounce. So then automatically, I think the sweep and the reverse sweep was taken out of equation.
Absolutely, you do not want to try that sort of a shot against spinners who you don't know where they're going to turn the ball. See, that's the beauty with having a left arm wrist spinner in your team, is that they're not someone you encounter that often in the world of cricket. They're very much rarities. And Kuldeep is it's not just about his mystery. He genuinely has the skill. He's a very skillful bowler, someone who uses his variations, changes of pace, changes of the flight. Sometimes he'll flatten it, sometimes he'll absolutely give it air and give it revs. There's a lot of skill there in that bowler. I'm very glad to see he's done well. He took 3 wickets, if I'm not mistaken, 3 wickets and 3 very very good wickets. So I'm really glad that even he's getting his props. I hope, regardless of whatever the circumstances, that he retains his spot in the third test, because again, a genuine match winner across formats, who I think definitely, probably not gotten as many tests as he should have in his career.
And a very big reason for that is also that always the team combination going overseas, you need that batting cushion down there. That's why I think he has not been utilized to the fullest in Test cricket. But again, he is also someone who doesn't need conditions to actually turn the match around.
Absolutely, not a condition-based bowler at all. And now, if I'm England, I'm worried, because I mean, sure, you got away with it in the last test, wherein India had a 190-run lead, and you still somehow managed to overcome that in the second innings and ensure that you put yourself in a position to win. But right now, for England, it is in fact a very tough situation for 2 reasons. One, I think this India team has a better grip of the conditions. Second, more importantly, England are going to have to be batting 4th and not India.
Exactly.
So that really puts a lot of onus on the English bowlers to get quick wickets and ensure that the target they're chasing is not a big one.
And what do you think would be the target that India would be looking at before actually feeling at a comfortable spot?
I think they're going to look to get anything around 250 runs. If they get 250, the lead is 143. You get about 250 runs in this innings, and I still don't think the pitch has reached a point where it is in fact troubling. I think it is realistic to expect you to get about 250 odd runs. Anything over that's a bonus, because it means the batters then in the 4th innings, where you're expecting the pitch to deteriorate, will be chasing 400 or in excess of that.
And also we'll be getting to see again Yashasvi Jaiswal seemed in the morning. He just got his double done. Now would be coming back. I would really want Rohit Sharma to actually now come out and play the natural game, because in the first innings I do understand there was that added pressure on him of carrying the whole batting lineup and taking them to a respectable total. But here again, already 143 runs ahead, trying for the 250. I think the Indian batters should just come out and express themselves like they have somewhat what Yashasvi has done in the first innings.
And I agree with you, because again, they do have a very very good buffer at this point in time. You've got a massive lead, and I don't think it's now a case of where in the first innings you can sometimes play a little tentative because you don't know how many runs are enough and you don't want to take that risk. Now though, you've got a buffer of 143 runs, so you really should go for it. You should look to put the pressure back on the English bowlers, because again, right now the pitch still remains very good to bat on. So I think look to be expressive, look to kind of get your runs, ensure, put as much pressure, because anything after this is just added pressure. 143 runs, I'm just saying, 250 runs if you get, the test match is as good as in the bag. No two ways about it.
Yeah, and I think that the inexperience of the English spinners would come into account now, because first innings they were not under pressure, because they were 1-0 up in the series. They knew that they can get on over the Indian batters. Here I think they are under pressure. Here is the time where I think the Indian batters could actually utilize the fire.
And also, you have to remember, one of the reasons England have gone for so many spinners is because they were expecting rank turners. This isn't a rank turner. Now you need spinners who have skill and guile. The English spinners do not have any of those. And in fact, quick turnaround time, as people are pointing out, the innings is about to start. So we are now only about 20 minutes away from the close of play. Sorry we couldn't take any of your comments in this particular stream, but join us for the post-match. We'll take all your comments. We'll have a nice little interaction at that point in time. Thank you guys so so much for joining us. Please don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and tap that bell. Follow us on social media, download the SportsTech app, and stay tuned. We've got plenty more, a long discussion coming your way very shortly. Enjoy the test match, and don't forget to join us later. Bye-bye from me and Shashwat.